And we are here. Dun 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 dun. Oh, you know what? Let me switch my mic over really quick. Make sure it doesn't have a delay on it since we're not streaming from the capture card today. Hey, I see Canadia is here. Hello, my friend. An idea how long this live stream is? I believe they said that it's supposed to be about 40 minutos. So we'll see. It officially starts at noon. They have like a little pre-show thing going on right now. I guess I can take the starting soon off the screen. They have a little bit of a pre-show thing going on, just showing cutscenes and the like from the last probably, year or so of Destiny 2. And right now, everything they're showing is the good stuff from before Lightfall came out. So I have fond memories of what we're seeing right now. 40 minute toes. Okay. Yes, indeed. Yeah, so we are about 13 minutes out from the showcase itself starting. For now, we are just big chillin' until everything kicks off. That nostalgia bait. Well, it's so funny because it's like, it is current events that lead up to everything that's been happening story-wise. I imagine that after this, because this is basically the last major story event that happened before Lightfall came out, we'll start seeing stuff from Lightfall, which will be considerably worse. Like this whole segment, this is great. Everything that was going on here was awesome. Put the sound on for you guys. It was everything that came after this that was terrible. But yes, how you guys doing? Hope y'all are doing well today. I've been seeing people's comments on my Downfall of Destiny Part 2 video that I made, and largely echoing the sentiment that I have, wherein they'll believe everything the Bungie is saying when they see it, which is the right attitude to have, because things are a mite dire right now. So it really was just Lightfall. In terms of just like what was bad, pretty much. Like, there's been issues with the game, of course, but the year of Witch Queen and all of, like, the seasonal story content and everything that followed it was really good. Like, that whole year of Destiny, I really, really enjoyed. The one Season of Plunder, was pretty kind of fillery, but, like, it was still fun. And because the game was good, because the story was good, it was easier to brush off the things that were not good, like with the monetization and everything. But then now Lightfall came out, absolutely butchered the story. The game itself has been in a terrible state. Like, all of the content feels super rushed. Everything is reused assets. Even like all the guns and everything are just reskinned stuff. The story continues to be absolutely abysmal. The monetization is out of control. It's just been terrible ever since Lightfall dropped. So that's why we're kind of in the state that we are now. Which is a real shame, because Witch Queen was a super high point. Like, a lot of people who hadn't played the game in years and years picked it back up with Witch Queen because they heard how good it was and had a blast with it. Had a really good time with that whole year. And then Lightfall came out and just doubled down on the you can't trust Bungie to not screw something up. Hey, Dragonlord is here. Hello, hello. Ah, yes, here it is, Lightfall. The single worst thing that has happened to Destiny. Live service without the service? Yeah, pretty much. See, and like, this intro cutscene is so good. So it was like, okay, so this is going to be tight. And then we just get the mess that is Lightfall, because this cutscene was clearly meant for a completely different expansion that is now the final shape that they're going to be talking about today. That they delayed and replaced with Lightfall, but used this intro cutscene to be hype. And the outro, like the end cutscene for Lightfall, is just the second half of this cutscene. They literally just split the whole thing in half. It was supposed to be one whole intro for the start of Final Shape, and they just cut it in half, put the filler episode that was the terribly written Lightfall in between, and are like, all right, well, sucks to suck. it was 20% more expensive with probably 50% less content. And also the game servers literally are exploding constantly, and the writing is atrocious, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like, this whole cutscene and everything, like, this whole lead-up is an insane payoff. Like, this was, for anyone who knows Destiny and has been following the story and everything, this is an insanely awesome cutscene. And incredibly menacing as well. And then it's just like, all right, well, we're going to fuck off to Neptune now and deal with the Cloud Striders and Neomuna and just not be here for this active war on Earth. I was going to play Lost Light today, but I got a notification that you were live. Hey, very cool, very cool. Good to have you, Dragon Lord. We're talking story and live service, though. I caught up on Genshin's main quest last night. It's been fantastic. Nice! Yeah, I know the story of Genshin has always been banging, so.
We're in no position to engage the enemy.
We don't have a choice. We're out of time.
Osiris. Don't die.
What little I know of the Sumeru storyline was really good, so. Definitely. Someday we'll get caught up on Genshin. Someday. Yeah, just so you guys know as well, my plan, we're going to do this stream, which will probably be, once it starts, they're saying about 40 minutes, and give our thoughts on that and everything. Then we'll probably take a slight break. Oh, God. Are they going to... Yep, here comes Nimbus. This shit. So that guy who's dead in the center there, that's the big rhino lady's father who we just killed. And it's like, fist bump, lol.
What's wrong, Osiris?
This whole cutscene is so bad. Just a terrible ending to a terrible expansion. But yeah, so we're going to do this stream. I'll probably take a quick break to whip up some lunch. And then I actually think for a little while after that I eat, so maybe around like 1:15, 1:30, we're actually going to play some Armored Core. I had the idea last night. Sometime here I wanted to take the chance to play a little bit of Armored Core Nexus, my personal favorite game in the series, and show you guys a little bit of what I know Armored Core to be, and for those of you who've never played Armored Core, give you a little bit of a glimpse of what the game plays like. So I think with the way my schedule is going to be, I'm not really going to have the chance to play prior to 6 coming out. So we're going to play some Nexus, and I'll talk about the game with you guys a little bit, what I like about it, what will have changed between Nexus as a PS2 game and 6 as, you know, a current-gen game. And just, you know, have a little fun with Armored Core, because I'm feeling the itch. Everyone always complains about the dialogue bloat, but the main stuff, I don't find it that bad. Side content, Yeah. No, the main dialogue stuff in Genshin tends to be pretty succinct for the most part. Unless it's the Chasm. Yeah, no, not 6. No, not 6. Yeah, I figured it'd be fun. Maybe play for like an hour or something like that, perhaps. I've got a lot of different irons in the fire. I'm trying to get as much done as I can prior to 6 coming out of just different things. So. Archon Fontaine is amazing. I don't know much about her. I've seen her around, I think, but that's pretty much it. Hey, Navi's here. What's up, Navi? Bungie's recapping the last few seasonal story beats. And we're basically just talking about how Bungie is screwed up recently.
All attempts to fund it have failed.
I do love how brutal that is, though, that Guardian just gets, like, melted to their ship. Looks like I'm not too late. You're not, Segno. You're not. Welcome. Yeah, our journey continues. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, we'll see how well you manage to handle that. Oh, yeah, it makes sense that there would be some stuff for Lance Reddick. Bring the volume up a bit now. Rip to the legend, man. Lance Reddick, absolutely phenomenal actor, voice actor. Seemed like a really cool guy in general. It sucks that he's gone.
난 어둠 속에서 태어난 끔찍한 것들을 봤어. 매
What?
순간 그 미래가 다가와.
Oh my god.
Okay, we're just people from... Okay, I thought we were starting, but... Just people from all around the world love Destiny so much, even though our game is garbage right now. Oh, God. I'm not used to, not English Zavala. That was wild. How you guys doing in chat, though? How you doing? How's it going? They always do this of showing, like, oh, yeah, look at all the people who, like, stream the game and have all these cool reactions to our cool moments.
함께 건너가자.
A Destiny VTuber. That's funny. All right, get your popcorn ready, folks. I got to start making some polls, I'm now realizing, but I don't think I can right now. Ah, never mind. I won't worry about it. Okay, here we go. Okay. Take your bets. Is this the best time ever to get into Destiny? Is this the biggest, coolest adventure they've ever made yet? Do they have another 10-year plan? Oh, hey, there's
Like
Joe.
many of you, I've been playing games as long as I can remember. They're a core part of what makes me who I am.
Let me know how the volume is,
I
guys.
believe there's this deeply rooted, often unstated mission of games to keep adventure alive. In 2014,
We haven't done that.
Bungie set out to start a new adventure. Heroes awakened on a desolate planet. A silent
Are there
god
captions?
set
I'm surprised they don't have them automatically.
it wouldn't be long.
And there are not
before an
captions,
ancient
actually.
enemy, shrouded in darkness, showed up at humanity's door to destroy us.
Funny, for all of
Over the years,
Bungie's talks about
our heroes
accessibility,
would shape a story
they don't even have
far
captions.
greater than anything we could have imagined. Players would explore deep into the depths of Venus, hunting a machine god that controlled time.
Here, I'll bring it up for you.
itself. They'd invent ways to combine their mythic weaponry and their paracausal abilities to stand alone against monsters that took others, an entire elite squad. They'd race alongside their friends far into the early morning into halls of an ancient city where only a select
Want me to bring it up more?
emerged victorious at dawn, clutching the heart of a dragon.
That's as maxed out as it's going to get here. I can turn it up in
But
OBS
most
if I need to.
importantly, they bring their friends and their family into this world.
There we go.
Together, meet new faces on this adventure who would become lifelong companions. Now, together, we approach the final shape.
There, I brought it up in OBS for you as well.
We're about to embark on the last expedition of Destiny's first saga. So let's be clear about the stakes. In the final shape, you will go inside the Traveler. The journey will be difficult. And
Yeah,
what
no problem.
awaits you on the other side of this trek is nothing less than the deadliest entity we have ever faced. There will be no open betas. There aren't going to be any guides on the internet telling you how to handle what's to come. Whether you've been with us from the beginning, joined us somewhere along the road, or are looking at Destiny for the first time, anybody who shows up on launch day is going to be greeted with this same uncharted world.
That's how a new game
vacuum-sealed
launch is, Joe,
experience,
yes.
begging for you to be the first person to peel it open. So today is your invitation to go forth and adventure.
Throwback to the very beginning.
After all these
Yeah.
years, we never talked about it. Why I brought you back.
Oh, the old tower. Interesting.
Why you were chosen. The truth is, I didn't know then. It was just a feeling. But I know now. After all we've seen, all we've lost, this fight might be our last. So I'm asking you one last time to rise.
Ghost is looking pretty messed up there, huh? Oh, that's interesting. So what, that was a new subclass there that they showed for a split second? So immediately my first thing is...
This is a momentous time.
There's a
in
lot of
Destiny
stuff that looked like we
history.
were traveling through
We've
old
been building
territory
to this
there.
moment for the last 10 years.
The final shape is the conclusion to that journey. This is a moment in gaming that as a developer you just don't get very often.
Guardians and allies are fighting the biggest threat that the universe has ever seen in this big culmination of the Light and Darkness saga.
Yeah, exactly, Canada. Never before has a product released where you don't know what's in the
When we were
product when
thinking
it
of what
first
the
comes
final
out.
shape could be, it had to be a lot of different things. It needs to pay off this epic confrontation with the Witness that we've been setting up for years. It has to bring you closer to your allies in the Vanguard. It has to be this place that like makes you feel nostalgic for the entire journey you've been on.
When
I swear to God,
we're resurrected by ghosts.
If
at
you
the
go
very
into the heart of the
beginning
Traveler
story,
and it's just
we
rehashed
know
territory.
Why? But it was for this. The Traveler is asking us for help, and it's our responsibility to protect every living thing in the universe from
I mean,
what the Witness intends to do.
That's literally just what we've been doing from the very beginning. What are you talking about?
When we first start
That's not
the final
new.
shape, we are finally able to go through the portal that the Witness opened in the Traveler at the end of Lightfall.
Inside is the Pale Heart of the Traveler. That is the stage for our showdown.
What
with
is the
Witness.
story in Destiny? There is actually a story.
The Witness
I
has
can
the
outline
darkness,
it for you
and
once
has
we're done
always had a
here.
connection to it. The Pale Heart of the Traveler is what it's trying to use to gain connection to the light. So with both, it can enact its final shape.
The Witness looks around and sees a lack of purpose, no meaning. It wants to fix all that. So it's trying to put the universe into this frozen perfection where everything's just exactly how it thinks it's supposed to be. That is the final shape.
If we're going to defeat the Witness, it's going to take everyone. Failure is not an option.
We're gonna need the Vanguard, all of our allies, and all the Guardians to rally together and be brave in the face of Oblivion.
In the final shape, we're going to answer questions at the grandest scale. But what I find really interesting is that it's also a very personal journey where we deepen our relationships with these characters that we've known for so long. Zavala, Ikora, our Ghost, get to reconnect with Cayde 6. So, like, while there's this great
Guys, the game is
conflict
floundering. Bring
and
back the most
everything
popular
going on around us,
character.
the stakes
Woo!
of just unimaginable heights, it's still at the end a story told around campfires.
The character
by
who
a
was
bunch of
deader than dead
companions
definitely couldn't
who have
come
been
back
fighting
until he
together
did.
for hundreds of years.
In the final shape, we're going through the portal that the Witness has opened up to confront it and stop the final shape. Inside the Traveler is this infinite, vast, unknowable, and we're landing on the Pale Heart, which is a fraction of really what is inside the Traveler.
The Pale Heart is weird. It's a little.
What was the
strange,
veil
it makes
again?
you feel a bit uncomfortable.
Uh-huh.
And it is also just so cool and artistic in the best way.
The Witness entered well ahead of any Guardians, and so it's had time to kind of shape what's there. When our Guardian enters, the rest of the Pale Heart starts getting shaped also around what we've experienced.
Yep. So you can
This
literally
is
go
the
through
traveler
reused assets.
recreating the world in front of you as it saw on your journey.
One of the most memorable Botalas from Destiny's past is the D1 Tower. It's really a labor of love from the Destiny
Oh,
team. The final
God.
shape means so much to everyone who's building it, and I think players are really going to be able to see that.
Oh my God.
The Pale Heart is our very first linear destination that we've ever done. I would love it if players felt that they began their journey in a place of safety and feel it escalate in danger, in surrealness, because there is this beautiful evolution of the space.
They see
Like, there's a
things
lot
that
of
are
cool looking
more and
stuff
more
here
wrong
that
as they begin to go
are
towards the
new.
Witness's monolith. It's kind of this omnipresent, foreboding thing.
If you start in a
off in the
familiar
distance.
area and then go to new stuff, that's
The
fine.
weirdest things happen
But
as you get
I'm
closer to
suspicious.
the monolith in the form of reshaping. Kind of like deconstructing things and putting them back together just wrong.
The sense of scale you get out there, like as you're exploring these spaces and you're jumping on these reshaped cuboids of Earth, you feel tiny as a Guardian. You feel alone. You feel like you are not the force to be reckoned with that you have been. You're not the God Slayer right now. You're just this little person jumping from these massive pieces to massive pieces.
We'll have to buy Battle Pass and micro DLC to find out what the final shape
One of the
is.
things I really tried to also capture is that the
Yeah, I mean, you
Witness
had to
is
find out what the
throwing
veil
everything it
was,
has at
so.
you. And so you're going to fight these new enemies, the Subjugators.
Subjugators are the new unit you're going to be facing in the final shape.
They're literally one new unit in the
They have an
grand
enhanced
finale.
power set. They're performing stasis powers and strand powers to face the Guardian, while in support of all the other enemies you're fighting too.
They bring something entirely new to the battlefield, which is kind of this.
It's your final expansion. You need to have more than one new type of enemy.
Abilities, throwing crystals at you, freezing you in place, tangling you up.
They come in different colors. Yeah,
We're
green and
focusing
blue.
You on the campaign and only the campaign. It's the most important thing in the universe at that moment. You have to stop the final shape from happening.
And for that, we do need the help with our allies. And so we're going to make sure that the core Vanguard team gets back together. Zavala and Ikora and Cade.
The campaign is just the start of the Pale Heart. After you've reached the monolith and finished the campaign, we open up the entire destination. And so the entire Pale Heart is going to react to you and what you are doing.
So, like every other expansion you've made?
The campaign in the final shape doesn't really end with the final mission. The raids are where you defeat like the big bosses. So it's only natural that when you are going to confront the witness, you're going to do that in the raid.
Okay.
But that might not be enough. This is a moment where we need to rally all Guardians to be able to.
So you're going to fight the witness, but you're not going to kill him, and then you have to
the
buy the
final
entire
shape and the
year's
witness.
worth of seasons to see the end of the story, basically. Basically. It's what they just said.
In the final shape, we are inside the Traveler, very close to this energy. This allows us to have new supers, Arc, Solar, Void.
We want to create
Ah.
something that turns you into an offensive powerhouse, but also
Interesting. Okay.
can benefit your allies in a support capacity. There is this thread of team play and like working with your friends to overcome the odds.
So new light supers, that's interesting. I wasn't
The Warlock
expecting
Super
that.
is this ultimate expression of solar energy coursing through your Guardian. This Solar Warlock Super is a callback to Radiance from D1.
Other than Golden Gun, this is the only other first-person super in Destiny right now. Your melee's like all of these projectiles going off, doubling the amount of projectiles. Your grenade almost being sentient as it searches around, and then it hits a character and bounces off and goes to another one. And
Okay, well, I can't say I was
you're
expecting new light
overflowing
supers. That's
with this
cool.
energy that you are also giving it to your allies, allowing them to have their solar weapons supercharged, applying Scorch when they're shooting.
The new Solar Warlock aspect. When I cast my Rift, it is going to create this little.
Because the player's
solar
working to
soul
prevent the
that
final
when
shape, we can
seasoned
drag this
enemies,
out.
It launches part of itself out and hits the enemy and explodes and scorches them.
It just feels very alive. Twilight Arsenal. It's a layered super.
This is the only ranged one-off offensive super for Titans in the game. The Titan jumps up into the air.
Thank God it's a
summons this
one-off.
giant void axe, throws it, summons another one, throws it, summons another one, looks at a different group of enemies, throws it. And when these axes fly through the air, they stick into the ground or an enemy, do their void gravity thing where they suck a bunch of energy and enemies in and then explode. But that doesn't destroy the axe. The axe sticks around and you and your allies can go and pick up.
All right,
the
that's
axe
cool.
and start
That's a cool idea.
railing on enemies with it.
This super is insane to me.
The Void Titan aspect, I press and hold my grenade button to consume my grenade and turn it into the shield. The more damage it takes, the more it
See, they're at
charges
least
up,
adding
and
new
then
ways
I
to
can
play.
release that,
Thank
and
God.
It creates this blast that deals massive damage.
Now the question is, does that mean that there's not another darkness super?
The Hunter Arc super.
Or another
Arc
darkness
is all about
subclass.
finding the shortest distance between 2 points. The hunter kind of rears back, takes this knife and throws it across the world, and then is able to blink to its position.
Oh, hey,
with a
ka-ching.
slash that just decimates anyone nearby.
One really great thing about
One
that
map
is
every
not
year,
just
right? Well, not
you do
anymore,
it once, but you're
apparently.
able to do it 3 times, along with devastating attacks each time you do it.
The hunter has an aspect. We take our staff, we twirl it in the air, which propels us upward. It creates this burst, which amplifies you and any allies near you.
It almost makes it feel like you're playing a fighting game, right? Like these combos that you're chaining together to do these different moves. It like takes that sandbox to the next level.
The more aspects we have, the more capable we are to do that.
It feels like you're like riding the lightning, you know? Like that instantaneous, like...
That was good, but I think it's more like...
Move throwing a weapon and blinking over the weapons from FF15. It's Nox's ability. Ah, that's also true, yeah. Yeah, very Kaching from Genshin, very Noctis from
Weapons team has been working on
FF15.
all sorts of goodness. We've got exotics, we've got legendaries.
Are your weapons new, or are these reskinned from an old expansion?
It's like really interesting or taking inspiration. We have Tessellation, which is this exotic pyramid fusion rifle. It
that's cool.
has the really intriguing property of adapting your Guardian's current damage type.
This will be the first time that you can run a weapon that can adapt to be strand or stasis in the energy slot. So you'll be able to run an entirely strand or entirely stasis loadout. Tessellation has the additional property that you can special reload to reshape your grenade and suck it into the weapon, and then fire out a super destructive single projectile. It's a really special weapon.
What's the one specific exotic that I can make that's like really zany?
This is
that
just
you
like a
like
fighting
right
game,
now?
like Street Fighter 6, a hit game on Twitch.
A sniper rifle.
What if you could harness the might of the Traveler? You know, we had a moment where we saw that Traveler beam cutscene. I know people on Weapons went, I kind of want that. You're like, that is incredibly dope.
So we've got this opportunity to bring back these iconic Destiny 1 weapons, but really turn it into something that feels unique in Destiny 2.
We have to bring Khvostov into the fold.
The Red Death exotic pulse rifle.
And Dragon's Breath. Burn the world, burn it all. In the final shape, we have new weapon subfamilies coming, broadening what existing weapons can be.
Really like bordering on exotic functionality. So for example, we've got a rocket pistol sidearm subfamily. We always liked the special ammo sidearms. This fires tiny, slow-moving rockets. They hit very hard, do a bit of AoE damage.
Destiny 2 Final Shapes of time loop back to Destiny 1.
Weapon and rocket launcher stats. We're also doing a new support weapon subfamily.
The support frame auto rifle is a type of legendary auto rifle. It'll let you switch seamlessly from firing at enemies to healing your allies.
Okay,
I'm really
cool.
excited to bring it to dungeons and keep my team alive, honestly.
Man, it's incredible when you look at all this stuff that they have in the final
Weapons
shape that
team is
didn't
always
exist in
coming up with new
Lightfall.
Ideas. We've got a ton of new cool
It's almost
stuff
like
coming
Lightfall
over the
wasn't
next
supposed
few
to
years,
exist.
And some new and really wild ideas, which we're pretty excited about.
Come on, take a load off. We've got a lot to cover.
Yeah, how are you dealing with
This
this?
place is only big enough for one dashing hero type, and that's me, so... I'm back! Hey, you two, give me a sec. I was magnificent. This is great. Anyone want a hug? Get your rock off my map. Worst case scenario, you die. But who knows? Maybe you won't. Well, better get back to it.
We don't know, Navi. We don't know.
In this moment where we're driving to the end,
All
of
we
the
know
Legend of
is that
Zelda Saga,
they're
it's great to see
using the
Cade,
nostalgia
return to
bait.
this world at this moment with all this change about to culminate with this confrontation with the long.
Backed by popular demand, has ever been more
Cade
transparent.
is the
Yep.
quintessential hunter. His presence casts such a long shadow over the story of Destiny, whether it was when he was alive or when he was dead.
What Cade goes through in this journey, how he serves as a catalyst for the other characters, the events that are uncovered to
The idea,
have brought him
it
back.
seems like he's
This
kind of
is
like a
how the
Force
story had
ghost
to end.
that
There
can
was
only
no end
exist
to the
in
Light and
the
Darkness
Traveler.
Saga that didn't have Cade here alongside his friends to finish the job.
Once we started digging into the nature of the Pale Heart, I think that crystallized Cade's role as a guide. Cade is Virgil, and he's our guide through this other place. Cade is the one who is the most appropriate person to be the guide, because that's his job. That's always been his job. It just feels so natural for Nathan to be back in the booth. It felt amazing to just see him slip back into the role, like, without missing a beat.
Right, instantly.
In the flesh, or metal, as it were.
Cade's the glue that's always held Zavala and Ikora together.
BS, Death carries a lot of emotions, bringing back cheapens his character.
Where they've been and what they've done.
I agree.
You think about the journey that Zavala's been on.
If he's not actually alive, though, and he is just like a Force ghost, that is more palatable to me.
Having to hold the Vanguard together.
But still,
having Cade's voice of levity and
like Canadian said, it's a very
brightness that he
transparent
brings,
as to why
to
they're
the
doing
group.
this.
I think it's going to be great for them.
Well, at least we have each other.
Guy makes you think he's a bootleg titanium leg man.
Sense of reunion and that idea of like the gang being back together for this moment.
I'm here now. Wherever the hell here is.
They just said he'll be back as a machine. Yes, but I think that's because the world inside the Traveler is like a physical reality. I just don't think he can exist outside of it.
The witness poses a dire threat,
That's my assumption.
and the Witch Queen holds the answers we seek. But only if we contend.
Oh, this is the season that's out today.
Zivu Araf. It rests with me. Will you come back from this? Do not be afraid.
Oh.
Bring me your tithes.
You now wield Hive magic and have entwined it with your light. Assault the Spire Guardian and open the way to our tithes.
Okay, guys, Marvel's Fist Sword is kind of lame, so we're just gonna bring back Iron Man just a bit, okay? Well, yeah, exactly. That is precisely what they're doing. Even if it makes sense in the way they do it in the story, it's still obvious why they're doing it.
Strengthens me.
It's cool armor, at least.
My appetite rises for your brutal tribute.
Let us show her what it is to be Hive.
You have sounded the horn of battle! You are deserving of the greatest death I can bestow.
Season of the Witch. Again, themes and characters that I find really, really interesting. It's just, what reason do I have to play at this
Season of the Witch
point?
is our opportunity as players. We've been annihilating and breaking
When
Hive spells, and now we find
they're just going to abuse the player base over and over and over. Why bother?
We learn that Savathun has the key to getting into the portal that we need to go into. That means we have to go find Imaru, her ghost. Imaru's like, not so fast. We've got a bigger problem first. And that bigger problem's name is Zivu Araf. If we fight her, she only gets stronger. Eris has an idea. It's a really
good
It's a wild ass idea, yeah. She determines, like, well, the best way to fight fire is with fire. We are channeling all of that energy that we're creating by going through, by eliminating enemies, and we're tithing to our friend Eris.
Bring me your tithes.
What does that mean for the characters and the player to kind of like be like Savathun? And that's where we went down the path of having Hive Eris. We wanted to extend that magical fantasy into the player then. That ability to have overwhelming magical power, that risk and reward into all of our activities and systems experiences. And so that's what led us to come up with things like Deck of Whispers. It's this magical deck of cards that creates amazing synergies with your Buildcraft meta and with buffs.
Ah, okay. They were talking about bringing in more roguelite stuff.
They want, and then that really leans into the Buildcraft.
Yeah.
You actually are getting cards that you can then use to place on the battlefield and change the way you play.
I'm such a sucker for deck building. Like, being able to, like, bring that element into Destiny gameplay has just been like, oh, chef's kiss.
It's
really
super
fun.
Learning that you can write whatever the heck you want and let others try to explain it was a big point for me as a lore enthusiast. Yup.
So we've got 2 brand new seasonal activities coming with Season of the Witch. We've got Altars of Summoning and Savathun's Spire.
Savathun's Spire is our new 3-player offensive. You're doing a lot more with the Lucent Hive magic, but it's got a high amount of combatant density. It's got additional random encounters that you can come across.
The Witch's Spire itself, Savathun's Spire, was like her reliquary for all these different magical experiments as she was learning the light. You're there in order to learn as much as you can in order to become a master spellcaster, right? To become like Savathun. The Altar of Summonings activity is really exciting because you can spend like 20 minutes in it or you can spend 2 hours in it.
It's a 3-player experience that you can hop in and hop out of. As you're going through this activity, you're filling the tithing bucket. As that tithing bucket is
and
filled
how
up,
much are
you'll
you
get progressively
expected
more
to grind
rewards.
it?
And then finally at the end, it'll cash out and you'll get a whole mess of rewards.
We really wanted to make sure that there was a home for any exotic mission content coming in seasons after the year has passed. And so we developed what we're calling the Exotic Mission Rotator.
Right away, we're getting...
Yeah, we knew about this, where they're actually bringing back stuff that they made and then took away.
This is some of the most fun content the team has making. It's some of the content...
Big feature, guys! This thing we took away, we're bringing it back! Woo!
Outside of just the missions themselves, is that every time we put a mission inside of that rotator, the exotic that comes alongside of it will become craftable. With Season of the Witch, we have a brand new Vex lo-fi PvP map coming. It's really exciting. It's got a bunch of
their
really
one
tight
PvP
gameplay
map, by the way.
We wanted to make sure that we focused the combat.
It took them a
element
year to
with
make
the new
this
Vex
one
Network
map.
We really wanted to make sure we hit is like, hey, you're shoulder to shoulder more often. There's not as much deep sight lines that you're interacting with. And a lot of the flow of the map is actually built around this like kind of central pillar of the Vex network that you're orienting around.
And there's also some modes coming too, right?
We've got a new PvP game mode coming that's all about relics. It's about multiple relics, so it's not just one like the Scorch game mode from the past. So we've got the shield coming from Vault of Glass, we've got the spear back from Season of the Risen.
And we've got the scythe from Season of the Haunted.
Yeah, so you're gonna be reaping Guardians with that thing.
How do we make
It's a
the
lot
Crucible more
tactical
interesting?
gameplay. It's all about running
Reuse
around the
old
map,
gameplay
playing
mechanics.
these relic dispensers and then grabbing them in order to push for victory.
I will take what I need. The words in my throat are the weapon in my fist.
We were feeling pretty Hivey this season, obviously. There's something in the air. And so when thinking about, like, what's a good raid reprisal that would really suit this very Hivey season?
Yep, here it
There's
is.
only one answer.
People are going to be very upset about this one. Unless they really spruced it up, because it was barely a raid. It was barely a raid in D1. Now it's not even a dungeon.
A god.
Map sure has a lot of cubes. Yep. That is just how the way the Vex network looks, but... The world's first race for this, unless they changed a lot, is going to be like 40 minutes long. How many times has Crota been milked? 5 now, I think. Play, earn, reward. Yes, play and earn that ring that you have to buy. Really earned the right to buy that
Moving
ring.
to the final shape, we really want to rally all Guardians at the end of the Light and Darkness saga. We want to reduce those power barriers as well as catch people up on key story beats and make sure that they have a really great and easy time connecting with other players.
Oh, is this your LFG
In
mode?
the final shape, we're trying to find ways to make power more simple and easy to understand and also lowering the barrier to entry.
They're in-game looking for game mode that they had to delay, or not mode, feature. That they had to delay an entire year
challenges in
from
grinding
Lightfall.
for the power levels that are required by these different activities.
One of the major changes that's going to be happening starting with the final shape is there are going to be a certain number of activities that are going to be power fixed. So it doesn't matter kind of what power level you are going into it, you're always going to be able to approach it. There's still going to be tiers of difficulty that you can do, things that are just meant to be experienced a certain way.
Things like Nightfall strikes that will still have power enabled, and that's where we're really going to focus the whole power climb.
The raids, the contest modes that everybody loves to engage with, that experience is fundamentally going to be staying the same.
I'm excited for this because I think there will be a lot more clarity for players in terms of understanding the relative difficulty of things, where they sit now in the spectrum.
One way that we're trying to do that is making it easier for new players to engage with you.
Grinding doesn't matter because the power of adaptive difficulty.
Fire team power.
Yep.
You can actually bring your friends
So why am I grinding again?
to play any dungeons and raids in the game without having to wait them to be at a certain power level. The person with the highest power in your fire team is actually going to bring all the others close to their power level, which means that there's no barriers really for any other guardian to join you.
That'll help at least get people into
Combined with
raids.
Fire Team
That's
Finder,
good.
It also allows you to find strangers, people you've never played with before, and have that same experience. That's all regardless of the power level of you and the rest of the people in your fire team.
Fire Team Finder is the new feature that's coming in season
Oh,
3.
yep, there it
aimed
is.
At helping connect and find other people to complete the best and most aspirational content in Destiny. We have a
They delayed it for a year,
to be able to say,
and
well,
they don't
this is
have.
my play style.
They
I'm
have
really chill,
technical
I'm
mock-ups.
anti-sweat. I'm just really
Holy
happy
shit,
thinking.
dude!
Exactly.
Tags really allow
It's an
players
LFG
to show a
mode,
bit more
come on.
personality, show a little bit more about what they're about. I think what's really great about it is with this launch, we're also looking at
Technical
including
mock-ups.
inclusion tags.
As an
This was supposed to be
example,
out
one of the
with
inclusion tags that
Lightfall
we have are
6
for
months ago.
colorblind players.
Holy
Inclusion
shit!
tags will bring players closer to finding their community and even closer to the people that they're playing with. So once a listing goes live, players will be put into a listing lobby where players can gather, they can communicate with each other. So we wanted to make it as convenient and as easy as possible for players to not just sit and stare at a screen for a long time while their listing actually fills up.
As a gamer who's typically more solo, I'm especially excited about this because it really is about helping reduce that anxiety and burden that comes with trying to make a new connection. The feature coming out today that I'm incredibly excited about is Timeline Reflections. Essentially what we have done is we've went back to previous expansions and pulled out missions that
Timeline
we
Reflections
felt
is
really
free for all
represent
players.
humor and beats
It
within our
fucking better be. It's your look back at what happened feature. Could you imagine if they made that paid? Why do you even need to state
They're
that?
not going to be like one-to-one for how you would experience them in the campaign. You're also going to
Holy
get
shit.
additional pieces of narrative fed to you to like identify like, hey, this is why it's important that this happened, and here are the people you met along the way.
A really big one that's really timely for Final Shape is Cade's Last Stand.
God, that tells you so much about like the monetization state of Destiny, dude.
This is a moment that a lot of
Wow.
players new and old are going to come back to Destiny. I think this is just the right time to introduce features that are going to allow those players to jump right in and find people to play with and enjoy this content regardless of their power level.
Ah, yes.
We're
Here's
reaching the end of this 10-year journey.
what comes next. Yep.
And the new way we're going to tell stories moving forward.
What's really important about episodes is that it's a really big shakeup to what we've been doing. Instead of providing 4 seasons a year, you are going to get 3 larger episodes. And so the first 3 episodes in this coming year are called Echoes, Revenant, and Heresy. It's coming right after the Final Shape. And the theme for the year is going to be all about the consequences and aftermath of the Final Shape. I think what's really the cornerstone of the episode model that we're building is the 3-act structure. The acts act as these anchors for us to introduce new weapons, new artifact mods, new
Oh my
activities.
God,
There's
the
gonna be
time
new missions
gating.
coming around the core. There'll be new story moments in every single one of these acts. We're actually providing more cinematic styled experiences throughout the Final Shape year and the episodes with it than any of the seasons we've ever developed before.
These new stories are actually playable as standalone. Like each episode is something you can experience whether you've been playing Destiny for 10 years or this is your first one.
You're going to be able to basically enjoy them in any order you want to.
I think the opportunity with this big epic moment is that we get to innovate the game. We get to move the game forward.
It's all about change frequently. It's all about deeper story moments. It's all about more weapons, more loot, more often. And it really provides the team with a platform to go much deeper into the themes and fantasies and story of any individual episode as compared to the seasons you know of today.
I'm so excited to see what the narrative team can do with this kind of new platform of storytelling. Episodes provides this awesome foundation for the future of Destiny.
We're moving into the next stage of Destiny 2. I think some people look at the final shape and they think Destiny 2 is coming to the end.
It
in
is.
In many ways, it's the opposite. We're
No.
leaning in. We're putting the pedal to the metal. Episodes provide us a new, innovative way for players to engage with Destiny 2 throughout the year.
Please don't stop playing our game after the end of the final shape. Please don't.
What makes a guardian a guardian? Devotion, bravery, sacrifice. We know that we were chosen for a reason, by something greater than ourselves.
Guardian. Guardian? Eyes up, Guardian.
Shaped by the fires of each new battle, we are forged and sharpened into what we must become for the fight ahead. We are the final line that halts the second collapse.
All of us. Every Titan. Every Warlock. Every Hunter.
What is it the Guardians say? Devotion inspired.
With the episodic model, we can better tell the Half-Life story.
Sacrifice leads to death. The line between light and dark is so very thin.
Let's cross it together.
Big push for the climactic ending is a double-edged sword for them because it's the perfect time to quit forever. Exactly, and they're terrified of that.
Things out in the dark that only the dark can overcome. Trust me.
You've heard the stories of the Traveler's sacrifice, of darkness descending upon humanity.
Our purpose is its end.
Nice, very good clip show.
There is no escape.
It's going to be an exciting year for Guardians. We get to make good on a promise.
This
that
the
we
end
made
seems like it.
Way back in 2014. There was classic rock blasting, a fire team racing across our solar system, and at the end, a simple message. Become legend. Today, you got a glimpse at how we'll be cementing your legend in this upcoming year. We're going to be heading inside the Traveler, experiencing a destination unlike anything we've ever built before. We'll face the biggest bad we've ever made, and we'll
You better be ready to back those words up, Joe, because
alongside
your people were just talking about reusing a lot of places that are familiar to us. That's pretty similar to things you've built before, just saying. Just putting it out there,
And as the
Joe.
dust settles in the final shape, we're going to continue our legends in Echoes. It's Destiny's first episode in a new phase of storytelling for Guardians with brand new conflicts born from the resolution of the Light and Darkness saga.
The Traveler's
These
third
first
cousin, the
episodes
Hitchhiker,
are
will
just
show
the
up at
beginning.
the end. And
But if you're chomping a bit to see how the Light and Darkness saga is going to kick off the future of Destiny 2, we've got a ton of great content for you to jump into today. Going live after this,
Holy
we've
shit.
got Season of the Witch.
Woo!
With a new story, new
Okay.
weapons, new armor, new activities, and new PvP content, all alongside a series of story catch-up missions, allowing any of your friends to jump into the game and get up to speed on what's happening in this world. Then, next week, a brutal reprisal of Crota's End is going to join the ranks.
Is it going to be
of our
brutal?
aspirational content.
Or are people literally going to 45-minute
Can't
clear
wait
it,
to
Joe?
see you all in the throne world as we learn more about the final shape and how we can stop it.
Speech is how they can say all this, but have a proven track record of lying over and over again. Yep. Well, that's exactly what my video that I put up yesterday was talking about, right? It's exactly what I was talking about yesterday. And I've always said, if something is good, I'll be happy to play it and say that it's good, but I just can't trust that it's going to be. And again, this season looks really cool. It has a lot of the things that I like about Destiny in it. But I don't know how it's actually going to be. I don't know how the server state is going to be. I don't know what the quality of the content is going to be. Because they've got a terrible track record right now. So, like, I'm not excited to go in and play it today because, A, I've got to pay more money if I want to buy it just to play it on its own. than I would be if I just bought the $100 deluxe edition. I'm literally getting charged more for that content arbitrarily. And there's absolutely zero guarantee that it's going to be any good. And the final shape, I don't know about that, man. That's probably the least hyped I've ever been for a final expansion reveal. Oh boy! 10 seconds before the collector's edition reveal! Hold on to your butts, everybody! Holy shit! Oh my god!
When we create a collector's edition, we try and recreate items from the universe.
Woo!
To enjoy
10 seconds before the big reveal.
So this year we're doing the Destiny 1
Oh my
Tower.
god.
We really try to work hard at thinking about 10 years of Destiny and how best to encapsulate that experience.
Even as a game that we've worked on it since day one.
God almighty.
Having it be the tower is super exciting for us because it's going to kind of catalog your journey of a player from when you first started playing.
This will make gaming amazing.
The tower, it's kind of like the beacon in which you're a place you can call home.
You get
I
the
love
tower, and then there.
I'm sorry, I need to just mute them for a second. I love how they're so excited about showing you this tower. Like, oh, how it's so important. And they've left it broken and on fire since fucking 2014 or whatever, 2016, whenever Destiny 2 came out. It's been on fire for like over half a decade. Oh, but it's so iconic. Oh, look at it. Oh.
Experience as a whole, really special. It's sort of the perfect symbol of Destiny. I'm so excited for it.
The perfect symbol of Destiny! Because the tower's been on fire and broken in half for over half a decade. It is the perfect symbol of Destiny. I fucking love it. Oh my god. Wow. Incredible cell phone there, Bungie. That was, whoo. Holy shit. Expansion is 6 months away, yes. Yes. February. Gotta get through 2 more seasons before Final Shape can come out. Why are they showcasing it now? Because they just always show it off ahead of time. They did the same thing for Lightfall. We knew about Lightfall like a year in advance. Now you can own your own tower to light on fire. Remember, everyone, no guides or anything. No chance to wait and see if it's worth buying. Just pre-order now. Yep. I don't care about your post, Joe. Okay. So, we're going to talk really quick because holy good goddamn. Okay. So, first of all, we have potentially a guarantee of a bunch of reused assets and reused locations because we're traveling through places that we knew before. Ooh. It's already a good start. They have all this like new stuff that they're coming out with, even though like now Joe said in his video, like, well, this was recorded a while ago. It's not a reaction to anything from the state of the game or anything that we're saying now. So like, oh yeah, look at our cool new PvP map. How impressive is it? Also, we know that that wasn't nearly enough, and so we're doing a whole lot more for next year, we promise. They're bringing back a bunch of old D1 exotics, which they always do, and which is fine, but like, still, they're doing the exotic mission rotator, which we've known about for ages, which is literally just putting stuff back in the game that was already in the game and they took out because FOMO, and now they're bringing it back. But oh, you can craft the exotic from it now. Woohoo. The exotics are still perfectly fine as they are. You don't need to craft it, but whatever. We are getting new light supers. That's cool. I respect that. I was not expecting it. I was expecting a new darkness subclass, but having some new light supers, that's also fun. I appreciate that. It's also less work for them because they don't have to make a whole new super. Interesting, right? What else? A whole bunch of new weapon archetypes that seem like they'll have new models and new functionality, which surprisingly just didn't exist in Lightfall, almost like that expansion wasn't supposed to exist at all. Let's see. Cade is coming back, which we knew about because they showed it in the teaser trailer. We don't know how yet. It could function in the story, but again, we know why they're doing it. They're finally bringing their Fireteam Finder LFG mode that was supposed to be in the game 6 months ago and is literally just an LFG mode. It should have been in the game years ago, but whatever. What else? What am I missing? New season looks cool, but it always looks cool. I always like Hive-themed stuff. I always like Eris. Dark Below is one of my favorite moments in Destiny because it's like when I got to really start playing the game proper because Destiny didn't work on my college internet for a while. So I have a fond affinity for that, so that's exciting, but I don't feel like arbitrarily being charged more money to play it just because I didn't and still don't want to get the deluxe edition of Lightfall to get all of the seasons for the price that they normally would be before Bungie decided to arbitrarily increase the price by 20%. So kind of going to have to wait and see how that shakes out, see what people feel about how it actually feels to play it, if it's actually worth playing. If the story is decent, if the gameplay is decent, if the gear is decent, etc., etc., etc. Trying to think what else. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff, obviously, that we were skeptical about, but it's pretty much exactly what they said it was going to be, that it's showing off what the new thing is going to be and how cool it's going to be, and pre-order our expansion. Cool. Pretty much. I hit all the major points there. Chat, are there things there that I'm missing that I forgot about? Let me scroll up through the chat really quick and see what else. You clipped the laugh. Excellent. Excellent. Was expecting them to say, hey, sorry we messed up. Here's some awesome new content for free. Well, that's kind of what that whole video from Joe was doing, Navi. Because that's what he was saying. Like, this like showcase was made ages ago before the state of the game came out and all that type of stuff. So I'm not too surprised that there wasn't a bunch of reactionary stuff in this. That's why he put out the video that he did, to try and kind of get ahead of that. But yeah, it's still... It kind of is ironic and funny to see them being like, oh yeah, awesome, when the game director had to come out on Twitter and be like, hey, so a lot of stuff's bad. Here's what we're going to try and do to fix it. Please don't hate our showcase. Please don't hate our game. Kind of takes out some of the excitement. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. Yes, the Echoes thing, of course. Yep, the continuing story, which I knew about. They had said that Destiny was going to be continuing after the Final Shape, even though they're absolutely... Unless Final Shape actually is, like, complete blow your mind, knock your socks off, take you to dinner first type of scenario that absolutely brings everyone back, they're going to see such a drastic player count drop-off as soon as Final Shape is done. Because so many people, like myself, or far more severely than myself, are so sick of the BS with Bungie and are like, I'll see Final Shape through to the end so long as it looks like it's fun, and then I'm out because I just don't care anymore. I just want a semi-decent conclusion to this thing I've been invested in, and I'm bouncing. And they know that that's a huge threat on the horizon. So, you know, they want to keep people strung along with these episodes that could be really cool. There's always the potential for Destiny to be really cool. That's why I still, in some way, enjoy it. And I'm still curious to see where they go with stuff because it has that enjoyable factor to it. They just have such a hard time following through. It's so, I mean, yeah, have to see how that plays out. But as of right now, I have absolutely zero interest in anything after the Final Shape. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting. I'm sure has a lot of cubes. Oh, yeah. Let's see what you guys are saying. Got new stuff. We've got old stuff. Buy our stuff. Summing up. Yep. Damage control. It's good stuff, by the way. Never been a better time to get out of Destiny. Manage expectations. We're going to make the Final Shape disappointing that the players will stay in hopes of something satisfying to follow. Yeah, right? I mean, again, remember, you can't over-deliver because you're creating patterns. And you'll have people expecting your game to be good, functional. Oh, what is the Veil, by the way? I know they had some, like, big story reveal thing in Season of the Deep that talked about the origins of the Witness and like how its race was blessed by the Traveler, but then it left and they like fell to darkness and like used the veil somehow to like become an amalgamate race and like use the darkness to go chase it down. But we still don't have anything super conclusive about it. It came out of absolutely nowhere to be this new MacGuffin to face off against the existing MacGuffin of the Traveler. And all of the pertinent information about it took place 2 seasons after the expansion that introduced it and had it as a central plot point that kicked off everything, but didn't explain anything, because get these 2 other seasons for a cumulative total of $24 to actually find out an answer to that question. I'm serious. I have no clue what it was, and I was really excited for Lightfall. I mean, it's the Darkness MacGuffin. It's the Darkness version of the Traveler, basically. The Darkness version of the Traveler is not the Witness. The Witness is an amalgamate being. All of the members of its race use the power of the Veil, which they either discovered or created, I'm not clear on that, and collapse themselves into one amalgamate being. That's why it's got like the voice of the Legion and like all the smoke faces coming out of its head, because it's its entire race. And they use the Veil to do that to themselves, gain paracausal power, and go and try and hunt down the Traveler. That's it. Now, it pains me to say it as a lore person, but I think it's supposed to be whatever is most convenient for the devs at any given time. Kind of. It's the Veil seems to be the closest thing to the actual like metaphorical, metaphysical powers of the darkness that exist as the counterpart to the Traveler. So, pretty much it. Gotta go make some phone calls about my car. I'll be back soon. Sounds good. Dragon Lord's eating pizza. Very nice. So, guys, here's the plan. I'm going to go for like a half hour. And we're going to come back after I eat lunch, and then we're going to play some Armored Core. We're going to play some Armored Core Nexus to kind of introduce an Armored Core game that I'm familiar with to all of you who might be curious about Armored Core 6, but haven't really had the chance to play any of the games or see anyone play the games. You can ask me questions, and we can just kind of talk about it for a little while. And I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Nexus is a PS2 game, so it'll be a little jank, but still, I think you guys will have a lot of fun with it. And it'll probably be a precursor. I do want to do that kind of story overview, common themes of Armored Core video that we were talking about the other day when we were doing Final Fantasy 16. So doing this little stream will probably help me get my thoughts in order for that as well. So yeah, I'd say 1:30, half hour. Time to watch that clip about 120 times. Yeah, I'm going to say around 1:30, I'm going to go whip up some shrimp scampi and some pasta and stuff I'm going to eat, and then we'll be back. I will schedule the stream so that you guys can hop into it and people know that it's going to be happening, and we'll go from there. How did the humans end up with it? So apparently, we'll answer this question, because I do know a lot about the lore of Destiny. I know my name is Bife, but I know a lot because the lore is my favorite part of Destiny. Essentially, during the collapse, as the Witness was attacking Earth and attacking the Traveler, it had the Veil with it. It brought the Veil with it from, its home world, and it was going to use it to access the heart of the Traveler, what it's doing now in the final shape. And in the ensuing melee, Savathun, Hive Goddess of Trickery and Lies, realized that the only way she was ever going to be free of the darkness, that she was ever going to be free of the control of the Witness, was to deceive him and make him think that the Traveler was gone or fled or died or something. So we don't know exactly how she did it, but she stole the Veil, hid it on Neptune, and in some way seemed to use it to convince the Witness and his forces that the Traveler was no longer available, and he left, and presumably to go find it. And so the Veil stayed hidden on Neptune, and Savathun kind of led people to it so that there could be another bastion of humanity in the form of Neomuna and the Cloud Striders to hopefully help the Last City in the future fend off the Witness. So that's how it wound up on Neptune with Neomuna, and how it founded Neomuna, because people wound up there and used it to build the city. Goddess of Deception. Wait, maybe I can deceive it. Why didn't I think of this sooner? To be fair, to her for a long time, she thought she was just going to be able to gain infinite power forever until she realized that the hive worms eventually, through sheer like attrition and entropy, you won't be able to feed them anymore. They will just become too powerful, and no matter how powerful you become and how much of the universe you bring under your thrall, you literally just can't sate their hunger, and then they'll kill you. So she's trying to get away from that. No answer on the phone, so okay. Well, I was just telling everyone, Canadian, we're going to bounce for like 30, 40 minutes. I'm going to get my lunch, and then we will be back, and we're going to play some Armored Core. So I'll get that scheduled, and I will talk to you guys at 1:30. So for now, goodbye, and I hope to see you all very soon to play some Armored Core. See you soon!